I really have such a hard time believing that medication will test would be a nationwide problem. I mean, it makes Vyvanse is going to get. I mean, it makes Vyvanse is going to get. Sued.
Judge, I'm here on
Hey folks, I'm
Brittany
Court Guy.
DeFrawi.
This one's wild. I'm Court Guy.
Imagine
this
getting
one's drug
wild.
tested,
Imagine
and it comes back positive for methamphetamine,
and it comes back
but all
positive
you've
for
taken.
Quick legal note here, false positives aren't just an inconvenience. In probation or custody cases, one bad test can mean jail time, losing your kids, or both. And here's the kicker. Proving the test is wrong isn't always quick or cheap. Have you ever heard of a prescription landing someone in this kind of trouble?
Is in session. All right then, court is in session.
She's not on docket. When we spoke last, we had heard about her allegations of testing positive for amphetamine, positive for amphetamine, methamphetamine, which was since that time, and she's here. Since that time, and she's here. We have had an opportunity to dig into it a bit more. Ms. DeFrawi apparently was taking both Adderall and was taking both Adderall and It appears from what we can tell from the drug lab tests that we are seeing, they may well have been testing for. They may well have been testing for Vyvanse.
Can't imagine that Vyvanse is going to make a test positive for methamphetamine. Test positive for methamphetamine.
Apparently Vyvanse. I've got the articles here. I've got the articles here. Vyvanse metabolizes a form called D-amphetamine, what is it? I'm going to mess it up, but it's D-amphetamine, which will test positive for methamphetamine. The same lab testing agency that Harris County is using is now involved in two federal lawsuits for testing people positive when in fact they are not. When in fact they are not. We're trying to untangle circumstance here. We've become aware of some other allegations involving a alcohol testing device in her car, and it's my understanding there are also some email chains between my client and her old probation officer about reporting dates and reporting test dates and her testing apparently this previous probation officer had some discussions with her about knowing that the Vyvanse would test positive on the UA test. We're trying to gather all those.
But there's still other violations. Continuing the test, and is she continuing the test and make sure that alcohol are using alcohol or? Come up, Mr. Frawi. Come up, Mr. Frawi.
Any emails with the previous officer.
And I'm sorry, you don't what? And I'm sorry, you don't what? Yeah.
It's unacceptable if you're covering the device. If you're covering the device when you're supposed to be blown.
She's not covering the device, Judge. She's not covering the device, Judge.
Oh no. Oh.
Translation, the defense is saying, yes, it happened, but not enough to be suspicious in court. That's a delicate line. Admit just enough to seem honest, but not enough to sink your case. Question for you. Does only sometimes make it better or worse?
To be fair, there have been occasions where other people have driven the car, other people have necessarily must blow in it, and they necessarily must blow in it, but it is very sporadic. It is very sporadic. If I may, I've already spoken to felony court. They are waiting to resolve. I went up there just now. I went up there just now. The judge up there is staffing it. The judge up there is staffing it. Try to get to the bottom of this.
I'd like to send her for a drug and alcohol test. I'd like to send her for a drug and alcohol test now. She's here, and then we need to have a hearing. And then we need to have a hearing with regard to the methamphetamine and
I'm waiting on a letter. I'm waiting on a letter from Jimmy Valentine, nationally recognized toxicologist. I think it's going to resolve everything. resolve everything, but I mean.
Well, I appreciate the tenacity. I appreciate the tenacity. I'm gonna have issues if you're. I'm gonna have issues if you're cover the camera to if you're trying to do things of this nature. If you're trying to do things of this nature, I'm telling you now, I'm going to have a humongous problem. Don't care if you have Jesus here representing. Don't care if you have Jesus here representing. Trying, but if you were disingenuous by covering the camera, disingenuous by covering the camera now. I'm gonna have issues with it. I'm gonna have issues with it. Cover the camera. Don't cover the camera. Have other people blow into it. Don't have other people blow into it. The idea is that the idea is that if that car's moving, you're behind the wheel and you're behind the wheel. You're supposed to be taking, not someone else. Test, and then them allowing you to drive, and then them allowing you to drive. If I find that happens, if I'm going to find that happens, I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose. Do you understand? I'm going to lose it. So, you understand? Yeah, I'm going to send it for a test now. I want to send it for a test now. I want to set it for a hearing, perhaps in 2 weeks, so that I think we need to have an expert. Too. We need to have an expert. How we're going to have someone come. We need to figure out how we're going to have someone come testify on Vivan and I don't know. Let me reach out to my. I don't know. Let me reach out to my staff. And figure out how we're going to go forward. And figure out how we're going to go forward. Let's do like 2 to 3 weeks. Let's do like 2 to 3 weeks. A formal hearing for a hearing. Have the probation officer ready. Have the probation officer ready to go. Every allegation ready to go.
We would only ask, and we'll be happy to do that. We would only ask, and we'll be happy to do that. We just asked for a list of what we're battling.
Yeah, of course. Is everything operational now? Is everything operational now? As far as is she still reporting now? Is she still reporting now?
As far as I can tell, everything is still, operational.
What is the cause number sheet for you? What is the cause number sheet for you?
Here in misdemeanor. Here in misdemeanor. It is.
40934.
Tell me.
She was supposed to.
Tell me. That's right. Right. That's right. Right. Why is the felony court unhappy? Why is the felony court unhappy?
Because they got the same case with. For what other office? For what state office? They said something else.
Who's in the 184th? Who's that? Who's in the 184th?
Thomas.
Who's that?
That's Cat Thomas, Judge.
Okay. All right. So let's set the hearing for 3 weeks. So let's set the hearing for 3 weeks. I'm gonna get and then my staff to see how we're gonna go forward as far as my staff to see how we're gonna go forward as far as methamphetamine issue. The methamphetamine issue.
Everything we find about. We're still untangling it. We find about. We're still untangling. I've been in a lot of these problems. I've been in a lot of these problems and giving me this one. It sounds like something where we may be. Sounds like something where we may be. So I want to bring it to your attention. So I want to bring it to your attention.
Don't test positive for anything. Don't test positive. I'm telling you now, I'm going to drug now, and I'm telling you now, I'm going to drug alcohol like crazy, and I'm going to test you. Do you understand? Like crazy. Don't test positive. Do you understand? Don't test. It's really going to go sideways. It's really going to go sideways real quick. All right. Okay. Pick a day, 3 weeks, and then pick a day, 3 weeks. We'll set it for hearing. We'll set it for hearing. Okay. No, if it's positive, then I'll reach out to them. If it's positive, then I'll reach out to them. But I guess we'll go forward.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Another thing.
Sure.
It's okay. Just another thing.
Sure.
She just wanted clarification that she can be taking her prescription prescribed by the doctor.
Yeah, as long as she has a valid prescription. Yeah, as long as she has a valid prescription. I mean, I never have an issue. I mean, I never have an issue with taking anything, but I really, and Mr. Downey, I really have Mr. Downey such a hard time. I really have such a hard time. That medication will test positive for meth. Medication will test positive for meth. Would be a nationwide just problem and just. I mean, to make Vivan is going to get. I mean, to make Vivan is going to get. Just sued. It's.
You've got what we're
So one of them is Missouri. Maybe Michigan.
Can you
have one of them?
Will you mind emailing me those? Will you mind emailing me
I'd like to
those so I can see those? See what they say. See what they say. The allegations. The allegations.
It was like the DOJ just some sort of lawsuit with them for like 1.3 million.
That's our county's.
Regarding regard to because this test positive allegedly for
I had to do maybe two separate issues. It's hard to know without being able to dive into it more. But it all stemmed from, like AverHealth drug testing, with like paternity issues. So I guess divorce couples arguing over disputes amongst like kids. Parents were tested positive. Parents were testing positive, and then a lawsuit got generated by that. I think the DOJ looked into. I think the DOJ looked into and whether or not they were following and whether or not exactly like what they said they were exactly like what they said they were going to under contract. But it's all like so. I know that's clear as mud.
I'd like to look at
I know that's clear as mud.
I'd like to look at those two cases and see, did they file a lawsuit?
This is where it gets big. We're not talking about one mistake. We're talking about potential systemic errors in drug testing, the kind that could affect thousands. 2 federal lawsuits already? If those claims are legit, this could be a legal earthquake.
I'm not a civil guy, reading between the lines. I don't know if that means reading between the lines, like they settled out. But it definitely was. Plaintiffs that were filing allegations. Tested positive for certain substances. That they did not consume. And one of those was methamphetamine. Yeah, happy to pass it along.
This one really makes you think. If a prescription drug can lead to a false meth result, how many lives could that impact? Judge Fleischer did the right thing by slowing things down and asking for expert input. Should we be reevaluating how we test and interpret these results? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Give the video a like. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.